Today we are going to do a direct draw, and this week we have been talking about in our SEL compassion or kindness, and this is a drawing that you could give to someone as an act of compassion or kindness. We are in the midst of spring and everything is growing, so today I thought it would be a great idea to draw a tulip. So you can use a pencil or a marker, whatever you're confident with. And like we've talked about many times this year, art is supposed to be unique, so if you make a mistake, own it because it makes it special and different. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw a U in the center part of your paper. This U is a little bit different from the U's we do because you don't have the little tail here. After you draw that U, you're going to do a diagonal line from this point to this point. And now you saw my diagonal line was not exactly straight, it was a little curved. And then we're going to also make another diagonal line going from this top left down to the middle. And the same thing, not perfectly straight, a little bit curved. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw an upside down V here in the center. And similar to the diagonal lines we just did, a tiny bit curved. As you can see, that is the top part of our tulip. The next two lines we're going to draw are two vertical parallel lines. These are going to act as the stem. And I know you guys know what parallel is because we've talked about that before in class. The next part of this drawing is the leaf. You're going to start right here at this point. I'm going to hold it. Make sure that you're starting right here at this point, and you're going to curve your leaf up and stop. And now I'm going to take this part of the leaf and I'm going to curve it back down right about here. And like I said, this does not have to be perfect. It sometimes is better if it's a little bit different so it's unique to you. Now, the next part is a tricky part, so I'm going to go slow. It's basically a U on both sides of our tulip. So I'm going to start right about here, and I'm going to make a U. And it's a sideways U, or a backwards C. And I'm also going to do the same thing on this side. I'm sure many of you have guessed, and yes, that is the lid or opening to our pot. So the next two lines we're going to draw are two diagonal lines right here, about, I'd say, 1.5 inches down, and I'm slightly going in as a diagonal. And then we're going to connect those two diagonal lines. Now you saw this was a little bit curved. Well, I also want this to be a little bit curved. And we're going to draw the next two lines as diagonals as well. Now, we are not going to start right here. We're going to move in about 1/2 inch, and we're going to draw a diagonal line down like this, and then a diagonal line down like this. And the same thing that we did earlier, we are going to kind of mirror this line, and this is going to be a tiny bit curved. And as you can see, there's our tulip sitting in its pot. We have a couple more things to add. If you look at this right now, it is floating in air, and we don't want something floating in air, so we want to draw something that it can sit on, like a tabletop. So we're going to draw a horizontal straight line, no curve this time, but we're going to draw it above this part so it looks like it is sitting on something. Now the last part is optional. I'm going to add it because I think it adds some depth to our tulip. We're going to draw some soil because we know that plants need soil and water and sunlight to grow. And that is our direct draw of our tulip. The last thing that I want you guys to do is close your eyes. I'll cue the music. I'm going to show you a magic trick. you can open them. That is what it will look like when it is done. Have a great weekend. Show a little compassion and kindness.